Welcome to the Scanbuddy installation tutorial. The first step is to install Docker on your machine. In this case, it's a Mac with Apple Silicon. So download the correct version of Docker that you will need and make sure you're a systems admin, otherwise this installation won't work. You can verify it here, and then once you've got this installed, the next thing to do is download Scanbuddy. Open up a terminal window and run a git clone on the Scanbuddy URL. Once that's downloaded, change into the Scanbuddy Docker Compose directory, and then copy the default.m file to a .m file, and then open up that .m file with a text editor of your choice. Change the version to 030 and the bind port to 80, and then the incoming dir. This is where the scanner will dump DICOM files to the Scanbuddy machine. And then the config file, similarly, make sure it's a path that is discoverable. The Scanbuddy username and password is your verification for getting on the Scanbuddy browser once it's running. Session key can just be one. You need to verify your UID and GID, so we'll exit out of here and run the ID command, and you can see your UID and your GID. So make sure you change those to the appropriate values there. You'll also want to update the values on the memory limits for the specs of your machine, and then come up with a Samba password. This is arbitrary, it can be anything for verification for your Samba share later. Next, we'll create a copy of the config file. So you can copy one here named scanbuddy.yaml, and then we'll make sure we create the directories for both bold and localizer data for all the modalities that you want to include. So let's take a look at this config file. You'll see we have the modalities bold, and we also have localizer. So make sure that we create directories for each of those under the Scanbuddy-data directory. Once those modality directories are created, we can run Scanbuddy with the Docker Compose command. It'll download the containers from GitHub, shouldn't take too long. And then once those are downloaded, go ahead and run a Docker container ls command. Make sure things are working. And you also want to make sure that port 445 is exported from your machine for the Samba share. So let's make sure that it's working with our credentials from the .m file. Looks like it is. Let's see an example in production. So we have a phantom in the scanner here. You can see the Scanbuddy screen, and motion is being plotted, but it's just a phantom, so there won't be any. But we'll induce some motion here, and we'll see on the Scanbuddy translations and rotations plots, the motion is tracked by Scanbuddy. On the left, you'll notice Scanbuddy keeps track of the number of volumes that have come in, as well as some other motion metrics and an SNR calculation after the 50th volume. Scanbuddy also keeps track of some other things. It'll warn you if part of the head coil is not plugged in correctly, which happens sometimes. If that happens, you'll see a warning that looks like this, notifying you, and then you can fix the issue. And that's it. Hope you enjoy using Scanbuddy.